Hello and welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated show on MTV that has tunnel vision. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge Season 40 Battle of the Eras episode 15. By the time we get to the end of this episode, we have narrowed it down to the top 10 competitors of the season. But before we can talk about those top 10 competitors, we got to go through everything that happened in this episode. And to do that, we got to start off where last episode left off. And last episode was like 2 weeks ago because MTV took a break for Thanksgiving week. So just as a quick reminder, we had Tori win in the elimination against Josh. And then Tori made the targets of Aviv, Jenny, and Michele. So coming back to the challenge house, Tori is feeling happy. He got another elimination win. He got a little bit of power. And with Josh out of the game, he's hoping that he moves up on Tori's roster list to her number 2 spot behind Jordan. And he feels secure being Cara's number 1. And Cara is his number 1. Speaking of Jordan, him, Tori, and Corey have a small Era 3 Who's Left meeting, and Jordan is playfully and jokingly appreciative to Corey for going into another elimination and knocking out another competitor, because as it stands right now, Jordan and Derek are the only 2 competitors who have not seen an elimination this entire season. How does that happen to somebody like Jordan, who is a multi-time challenge champion, yet it seems like he's doing a really great job this season, both socially and winning daily challenges, and he's hoping to continue his streak of missing eliminations moving forward. Somebody else who is hoping to keep on missing eliminations is Rachel. Rachel loves bananas, loves being a part of the Bananas Angels, but she's understanding the 2 players that are winning the most and who is always in contention of winning daily challenges are Kyland and Jordan. Now, it feels like Rachel doesn't have that much allegiancy to Kyland up to this point, but she has had conversations with Jordan. She wants to lock up with Jordan and make sure that they are on the same page moving forward as they get closer and closer to the final. The next day, Michele and Aviv are talking. Michele, who has had disadvantages going into almost every single daily challenge up to this point, is trying to give Aviv some pointers. Don't worry about your penalty. When going out there to compete, don't even think about it because it could mean nothing. Just go out there, do your best, and let's see what's going to happen. Will Aviv take that advice to heart? Well, we'll see as everybody dons their challenge gear, heads down to meet up with what they thought was TJ, but instead they're just standing around waiting for TJ in the woods. There seems to be no sign of him until he just pops up out of the ground like a gopher, scaring Corey half to death. Because of the daily challenge they're going to be doing today, TJ decided to make it fun and pop out of the ground out of one of these tunnels, and I thought it was really great. This is fun. This is what we want to see out of a reality TV show, out of the challenge. Just some fun, goofy gags. Speaking of the daily challenge, it's called Tight Quarters. They have to go down in one of these tunnels, follow the pathway to a slide puzzle, finish the slide puzzle, grab puzzle pieces, make their way out of one tunnel to get into another tunnel that will take them to another exit close to another puzzle board where you have to put together a face puzzle. The fastest man and woman to complete this will win into power, win into safety, and the slowest man will get a penalty in the next daily challenge, while the slowest woman will be going directly into the elimination. For Aviv's penalty, she is getting an added 2 minutes to the end of her run. My overall thoughts about this challenge is that I like that it was different. I understand it was very redundant at a certain point. They started editing into each other's runs. Once one person went, you kind of got used to knowing what was going to happen and everything. It had its moments. I really do like that it was different though. I don't think it was groundbreaking, but I love that production found these tunnels and wanted to use them. And that I feel like is special in a way, that they wanted to highlight something that was specific to the country and location that they were at. And they wanted to highlight it. And I really like that. Tori goes first. She does an incredible job. Corey, lo and behold, is very proud of himself. And he should be proud of himself because he was able to do both puzzles. Michele also does well. Cara Maria, I will say, had some trouble on the slide puzzle. She does get out to the face puzzle. There was a point where she was putting the pieces in. She didn't understand why the eye looked so different than everything else, but luckily she looked on the other side of her puzzle piece and saw that there was a different eye. She looked at herself like, duh, I should have gotten it. I should have known that, and puts it in. But luckily, she at least looked on the other side, where Bananas looked like he was doing a fantastic job. He gets through the slide puzzle rather quickly. He gets to the face puzzle, yet he just has the worst time. He also has the funniest moment of the episode, because there's a point where he is just like, who is this face? Who is this person? I hate this person. I want to punch them in the face if this person is still here. And I love the moment where TJ is just laughing hysterically because it's his face. He's having a great time. But Bananas could've, should've, would've won if he would have just turned over one piece and would have just noticed it. But he never did. He never turned it over. He just went with it, and he eventually got timed out, and he just walked off. It wasn't until Derek finished his run, came down to talk about it, and said that he was confused at first, but luckily he turned it over and saw that there was a different mouth and a different eye, and Bananas just hangs his head. And he is incredulous about hearing this revelation as Jordan is just cackling, laughing at Bananas and his misfortune. This was a really bad daily challenge for Bananas Angels in general. Jenny luckily finishes, but she does the best out of every one of them because, like I mentioned, Bananas times out, Rachel eventually times out. By far, Aviv had the worst time with this daily challenge. Everybody walking into this challenge, and after hearing about going through the tunnels and everything, and it's gonna be a tight squeeze, everybody was like, oh, Aviv's got this. The problem is that once Aviv gets down into the tunnels, she can't see anything, she doesn't know where anything is, she gets to a point where there's sticks blocking a passageway, she doesn't see another passageway, so she just kicks everything out of the way and just takes off. And she goes the exact wrong way. She is going through these tunnels for a very long time. She gets out on a spot that nobody knows where she's supposed to go or where she's at. She finally gets pointed in the right direction back to the front, all to find TJ and everybody just standing around, and TJ having to announce that she broke the rules. There was a barrier, she kicked down the barrier, and because of that, she's disqualified, and she gets last place automatically. This is tough. You know, because I feel like coming into this daily challenge, Aviv was feeling a lot of pressure. One, it's so late in the game. You don't know when the final is going to happen. You don't know if this could be like the last elimination right before the final. So you have that pressure of like, okay, I'm a target. I can go into the elimination. We're this far into the game. I want to make the final. I played so hard to get here. Your target standing next to an alliance member and a very close friend, as well as you're injured. And on top of that, you have a 2-minute time penalty. I just feel like maybe Aviv panicked just a little bit and maybe went off of instinct, because at a certain point, if you're already having a time penalty, you just got to go and hope that you're making the right decision, and that just did not happen here for Aviv. So she's going directly into the elimination. The results come out that Tori and Kylan win. Kylan has all the power to send in either Michele or Jenny in against Aviv. Now, it's pretty much set in stone, and everybody fully believes that Kylan would never send in Michele. Despite what they went through last season, Michele and Kylan have been the best of friends and best of alliance members this entire season. Also, why not take this opportunity to weaken the Bananas Angels, especially if Kylan isn't very close with any of them? So with the decision already sort of made, the rest of this episode is kind of just filler until we get to the elimination. But in the meantime, we talk about Michele. She does have a birthday inside the challenge house. She gets a little bit of a dance and a little bit of a show from Carl, who wants to take things upstairs, to come to find out that Tori as Devin gives her a little bit of a surprise appearance. Michele seems to be having the best of time. She has no cares, she has no worries. She feels safe and comfortable, which is not a good thing in the challenge house, but at this moment, it is a good thing. Enjoy her birthday and know that she's going to be here for another week or two. We do get a chamber sequence. It is mentioned that Jenny and Aviv know that they're going to be going in against each other. It seems like it's going to be set in stone. It seems like it's going to be a boring chamber until Tori wants to stir up some drama a little bit, and she wants to give out a hypothetical. Hypothetically, what if Bananas was down there, he won the elimination? Who do you think is at the bottom of the Bananas Angels? Jenny and Aviv are not playing around. They're all business, and even Aviv says that she would have volunteered to want to be sent in or be a target if Bananas had to make that decision. I understand where Tori was coming from, and I appreciate her wanting to spice things up. I just feel like it really did fall flat in that moment. Speaking of Bananas Angels, we do have a conversation between Rachel and Jordan where they lock in that they are each other's number twos. Rachel had a conversation with Bananas being like, I want to lock in with Jordan just so he is my number two and I can be secure on that front. And Bananas says, do what you gotta do. So Rachel and Jordan have a conversation and they both agree to be each other's number two. Rachel will have only Bananas over Jordan's interest, and Rachel knows that she comes behind Tori in Jordan's interest. One last conversation before we get to the elimination we see is between Kyland and Corey. They talk about how if each of them couldn't see themselves winning, they would like to see the other person win, where Corey would like to see Kyland win if he would be eliminated, and vice versa. Kyland, if he were to be eliminated, would like to see Corey win. They also talk about not wanting to see Bananas and Jordan in the final. They are multi-time challenge champions. If they get to the final, they're most likely going to win it. They have proven that as a 7-time champ and a 4-time champ. Kyland even mentions that he does want to go up against the best in the final, but that doesn't mean letting the best just skate by to the final. It just sucks that we're so deep into this game, it feels like one of them is definitely going to make it to the final at this point. At least one of them. But we're going to put a pin in that now as we have Jenny and Aviv don their challenge gear, head down to meet up with TJ in the arena for this week's elimination called Iron Triangle. Both women will enter this triangular cage where they're gonna have to race to get a ball and then throw it over the cage's fencing, but have to keep it in the rope circle. The person to throw the ball over the fence and keep it in the rope circle will get a point. Best 2 out of 3. If the ball bounces out of the circle, it is out of bounds and everybody resets. Hearing that this is a physical elimination, I was like, yikes, I don't think Aviv is going to win. But Aviv puts up a great fight. She tries her best to get to the ball first. She does take down Jenny multiple times, kind of wrestling the best that she can despite being injured. Again, she's still injured. She's going up against a beast in Jenny, but at the end of it, Jenny wins 2-0. She wins this elimination, wins in power, and Aviv is sadly eliminated. Aviv had an incredible season. After not being back on the challenge since 2006, being one of 40 players, one of 20 women on this season, one of the most stacked casts, if not the most stacked cast in challenge history, being able to make it through this game and being in the top 6 of women is incredible. Aviv should be very proud of herself and what she was able to accomplish on this season. And I feel like she can only get better now that she's like reintegrated herself back into the challenge universe, got her feet wet, and I feel like whether it is back on an MTV season or All Stars, Aviv is somebody that people should look out for and be worried about on future seasons if she would get the opportunity to be back, which I hope she is back very, very soon. Jenny now has the power to name 3 new targets. She can't pick Kyland because he won, and she is so frustrated about that. But she decides that she's not going to say Giant Banana's name, so she names Derek, Jordan, and Corey as the 3 targets. And that's where this episode ends. I like this episode. I like the daily challenge. Again, I like that it was different. I like that it was distinct and had something to do specifically with the location and where they were filming, that they wanted to highlight something special in Thailand. I really, really enjoyed it. I also like this elimination. I would have liked it if it was more competitive and a little bit more balanced between the 2 competitors, but I think this elimination could be a staple moving forward. I really enjoyed it as well. It's tough to see Aviv go. She had an incredible run. She had an incredible season. But because of her injury, I'm kind of glad that she's going now and she can go heal up, rest up, and possibly be back for a future challenge season and be 100% then. And I like everybody who is still here left in the top 10 of competitors. But I really would like to see Aviv back very, very soon. But now I want to turn it over to you. What'd you think about this episode? Let me know down in the comment section below. What'd you think about the daily challenge? What'd you think about the elimination? Do you think Kyland made the right choice by sending Jenny in against Aviv? What do you think about the 10 competitors who are left on this season? Who are you rooting for? Who are you rooting against? Let me know anything and everything down in the comment section below. I now want to give a special shout out thank you to everyone who supports me over at patreon.com/angelcakevids. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who's watching this video up to this point. I'll be back very, very soon with more Challenge 40 content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.